RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
All right. What's up, guys? I mean, what's up, Ed? I see Ed in the chat room all by himself. Hey, guys, thank you for hanging out. This is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, and humanity. And don't we need that? We need that in this world. I think so. I don't know about you. But thank you for hanging out. We have a regular Friday evening get together at 8:30 p.m. around that time Eastern Standard at the RDT. Look at me! Oh my God, I went way back in time at the Tarabuster YouTube channel at youtube.com/C4channel/Tarabuster. Yeah, I don't know where everybody is. They'll show up. Ed, it's that time of year that people are busy and it sucks. I know. And yeah, we will have our show. And I know a lot of other shows aren't doing content during this time. This show will be doing as much as we can, as, you know, and by we, I mean me, as me can. So, yeah, I wish I could have done the show last night. I mean, I try to stick to a regular schedule, but it's hard. And, I couldn't do the show last night. So it's easy. I mean, maybe people expect the show on a Wednesday night. So anyway, whatever. People will show up. That's it always happens. And, yes, Christmas shopping and, whatever else they're doing in this holiday season. Maybe they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with the bullshit of living in the last days of the American Republic, hanging by a thread. But, we're here, and that's all that matters, Ed. And thank you, Jim. Jim just showed up. Jim enters the list, as they say. And that means that, yes, we get Super Chat on the board, and we will, tonight's show is sponsored by Jim. So that's all I got to say. Hi, guys. And he's also one of our moderators. So anyway, let's just do some plugs. If anyone's new and watching, we feel like hanging out in the greatest chat room in American history, and I'm not kidding. It's a community that we are growing, and I'm happy for it. I don't know what I would do without you guys, really. Especially during the pandemic, I'm really grateful for all your support. Yes. So. What was I saying? Yes. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, all the regular places. If you can give the show a good review on iTunes, that helps keep the show going and growing. And if you can become a patron, that also helps keep the show going and growing. Thank you, Winston. Has shown up. Thank you, Ed, for your super chat. We're getting the super chats early on the board. So, what else was I saying? So, and of course, if you can support the sponsors and hosts, I don't know if they a host, or we're on APS Radio News. It's a new, they're really helping, Charlie is the chief cook and bottle washer over at APS Radio News, and he's a supporter of Tarabuster, a believer in Tarabuster, and I really appreciate that. And Charlie's just one of the wonderful people I've met doing the show, who I would have never ever encountered in my life, like everyone in the chat, like Winston, Ed, and Jim, and others who are dead to me because they're not in the chat right now. I'm just kidding. And I do take attendance in my head. I'm only kidding. I'm really kidding. I understand. So, yes, I'm like a dog or no, well, I guess, what is that? A fish? They only supposedly, I don't believe that anyway. They only remember a second in the future. Or that's not true. How could that happen? Or, I mean, in the past, they only remember like every time they go around the tank. It's like a new trip around the world. I don't know. I don't think that's true because they learn. Don't they learn to be afraid of certain things? Yeah, goldfish, right? I think we tell ourselves these things to make us not appreciate, I don't know, or justify the way we treat certain animals. But yeah, I won't get into it. Yeah, 3-second memory. How do they know that, Ed? Is that true? I don't know. I wish I had a 3-second memory. I would probably be happier. That's what I also, actually one time I was watching some TV show and there was a lady on there. I don't remember what show it was, but she was upset. Oh, I think it was Iana, or no, it was that show where they put all those people in a house and then they had to go, they had all these life coaches there. It was on many years ago, and when I used to work at Court TV, my friend Shannon and I, we used to watch that show together because working in TV, one of the perks was we all had TVs on our desks so we could watch television while we worked, and it's part of the job really. So, and we would watch was it called Starting Over? Yeah, that's what it was, with Iana Van Sant and all these other, life coaches. And there was a woman on there who had lost all the memory of her childhood. Like she had no memory of the early part of her life. And I said, that would be like a fucking dream. Like I would probably be a normal person then. I mean, I would be a lot happier, probably, right? I wouldn't be as messed up as far as, my emotional life. You know what I mean? That would be like a gift, not remembering half of my childhood. And look who's here. Tara Jr. No, well, it wasn't like Sybil or something, but it was, I don't know. I survived. So that's all I can say is I made it out alive. All right, hold on. Here's, who's here. He didn't take long. I didn't know where he was, but there he is. Didn't take long for him to show up. Tara Jr., the producer. Right? What are you doing, Junior? All right, good. You be good now, all right? We're doing a show. We have to keep you in Pound Street, so we're doing a show. All right. Listen, I got to get to work here, Junior. Why are you coming up here and yelling at me in my face? It's so weird because I was standing here thinking, I didn't know where he was. He wasn't in his usual spots. And I thought, okay, he's in the bedroom sleeping. Good. And we need a Junior theme song. We do. But I thought, good, he's sleeping. But I don't know what it is. Maybe he hears the music or something. And because I saw him just come on in and jump up and start yelling into the mic. I don't know why. It's very bizarre. He doesn't do this all day. I'm working here during the day. I'm doing other things here. And he doesn't bother me like this. But as soon as I start the show, maybe it's the talking. I don't know. Or he hears the music. Or he wants to join the fun. In the greatest chat room in American history. All right. What are we going to talk about? Well, of course, we will talk about Trump. Okay. This major announcement, which is, I feel many ways about it. But first, let's play it for those who didn't see it. And I don't know how many times we can watch it. It's pretty incredible. I mean, what words come to mind when you watch something like this? Well, let's watch it first, and I swear I'll let it run. I won't interrupt it. Here's Trump's major announcement that he teased. And all the pundits were speculating, well, what is it? Is he going to come out and support Kevin McCarthy for Speaker? Is he going to announce that he will be the Speaker? He's running for Speaker. Is he going to have a VP announcement? Like, let's all masturbate over this effing con man some more. Right? But of course, what was it? It was a grift. Like everything else is a grift. That's the difference. You see, actually, there is no difference. There's no difference. Oh, shit. Hold on. Between this announcement, this today's major announcement, and every other fucking announcement he's made. You understand? When he announced for to become the so-called president despite receiving fewer votes. This is in the same category. It's a grift. Holy moly.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington, with an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now. They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These cards feature some of the really incredible artwork pertaining to my life and my career. It's been very exciting. You can collect your Trump digital cards just like a baseball card or other collectibles. Here's one of the best parts. Each card comes with an automatic chance to win amazing prizes like dinner with me. I don't know if that's an amazing prize, but it's what we have. Or golf with you and a group of your friends at one of my beautiful golf courses, and they are beautiful. I'm also doing Zoom calls, a one-on-one meeting, autographing memorabilia, and so much more. We're doing a lot. My official Trump digital trading cards are $99, which doesn't sound like very much for what you're getting. Buy one and you will join a very exclusive community.
Unreal.
It's my community, and I think it's something you're going to like, and you're going to like it a lot. They also make perfect gifts. So you can buy them with your credit card or crypto. All you need is an email address. Go to collecttrumpcards.com and buy your Trump digital trading cards right now before they are all gone, and they will be gone. This is my first official Trump trading card NFT collection, and you get a chance to meet me. Go to collecttrumpcards.com right now, and remember, Christmas is coming, and this makes a great Christmas gift.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
How dare you? I mean, watching that, I can't even, there really are no words for the level of, we should all be embarrassed, frankly. Everyone, I'm embarrassed to be an American. I really am with this shit. This effing grift. How many idiots? And of course, if you look, I went on Twitter. I was like, who the fuck would buy this shit? It's not even a real... Of course, it's an NFT, so it's just a digital thing. It's not like it's not an actual memorabilia. And apparently people are having trouble, of course, accessing it. So they get a link, and the fucking link isn't working. So, it is coming, it's starting as exactly as you would expect. He doesn't know what an NFT is. I barely know what the F it is. Wait, hold on, Trump. Let me look this up. I'm on Twitter. Trump, a major announcement? Because I saw all over Twitter, like, people were complaining about that, how they couldn't access it. Anyway, whatever. What else is new? So let's hold on. NFT. It's so and of course when you play the game again, right? What if that was Obama? What if that was any other Democratic president? But none of them, no Democrat, would debase themselves and the office so epically as this effing grifter. It is repugnant. It is insulting, and it's absolutely embarrassing to be an American. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I'm sorry, world. But this was where it's going. Of course, the Republicans would end up with an absolute grifter as a standard bearer because the entire Republican Party is a grift. It brings nothing to the table. It is an antagonist to progress. They have no interest in making a more perfect union. They have no interest in democracy. They don't do a goddamn thing for democracy. They are the little termites in our collective house, just gnawing away at the pillars of democracy. And it's not enough for them to just gnaw at the pillars of democracy. They also have to debase us as well. And even this announcement will not deter the Republicans from, he literally said he wants to cancel the Constitution, and they'll still vote for him. There's no low too low because it's a grift. It's always been a grift. Like when John McCain, who now the Republicans look back and actually all the pundits, the so-called liberal pundits and the corporate media look back and fondly remember him as some kind of truth teller when he was in on the grift too. He was a grifter. He's the one that propelled Sarah Palin to the national stage. They're all a bunch of effing grifters. The only reason they picked her at the time, and without her, there would be no him. There would be no Trump. Because they got over time, they got progressively worse, the Republicans. And I'm telling you, we will, just like with Herschel Walker in Georgia. And when we were talking about that on the show, whenever that was, a week or so ago. And just saying, like, well, how long will it be until they simply run a cardboard cutout or a box, a checked box, just check R. Because it doesn't matter who you're sending into office. They're all a bunch of, grifters on the take and on the make. That's why, the conservatives of this country are, they are the problem, on both sides. But really, obviously, the Republicans are beyond redemption at this point. Where do you go from here with the Republican Party? This vile. Everywhere you look, there's an offense to the soul, what would George Washington say? He says, I'm better than George Washington. I'm better than Lincoln. Who the fuck is he? It's an outrage. And where are the Republicans on this? Where's, Moscow Mitch? Where's Kevin McCarthy? They're out there embarrassing themselves, of course. Kevin McCarthy is a joke. He reminds me of Tracy Flick from Election. You ever see that movie, Election? It's really true. Just wheeling and dealing for power. But the power to do what? To investigate Hunter Biden's laptop? To do what? To kiss Trump's ass? The only reason a Republican gets into office, and as this video attests, is to line their own pockets. That's it. They don't get into office for altruism. If that were the case, we wouldn't be. Pick an abhorrent statistic. The United States wouldn't have buried 25,000 children dead from gun violence in the 10 years since Sandy Hook, right? We would have actually done something about people being able to buy weapons of war on the street. Things like that. If they were actually doing something, we would see some progress. Except Republicans can't bring anything to the table because they are completely dedicated to money and power, lining their own pockets, pleasing their big money benefactors at the expense of the American people. So I want to know how much, first of all, how much do you have to hate yourself to buy a Trump NFT for $99 or any dollar? I mean, how much would you pay? So someone on Twitter asked, how much would you pay for a Trump card or something? And I was like, I would pay anything for him to go away, frankly. Right? How much do we have to pay to get this fucker out of here? Should we start a GoFundMe? Get the F out. Shut up. Shut your hole. Go back to grifting. I mean, it's just go away. This is what is so depressing, because he found the most lucrative grift that he could ever get his greedy gullet around, and that's the political system, which is ripe for somebody as disgustingly greed-centered as he is. It doesn't produce and attract the best people, especially in the Republican Party. If you are the only way a Republican gets in trouble with their fellow Republicans is when they are showing any integrity whatsoever. When they take their oath to the Constitution seriously, then their fellow Republicans rebel against them. And so I thought if I had to look at this shit, I would take you all with me, as backup. So let's go over to his, Trump. What was the friggin' website again?
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington.
Better than Lincoln, better than Washington. And I also love the way he responds to himself. He's reading whatever's on the teleprompter, and he's like, yes, it's really true. I don't know, $99, it's not that much. No, really, it's not that much. Or, he responds. It's call and response to his own ego.
Autographing memorabilia and so much more. We're doing a lot.
I'm telling you, it's like he's validating his own bullshit with another, the repetition. I guess he learned that from his other grifts. Trump Steaks, Trump Network Vitamins, Trump University. I mean, the Trump Charity, all the scams. And now I have to ask, as far if you're a Trumpanzee, let me ask you, what billionaire would do this? What billionaire? Somebody, an actual billionaire. Well, I mean, you never know with these right wingers, as we see with Elon Musk, man-child Musk. He's turned Twitter into his own little vindictive playground and vendetta machine. So, they have they really are snowflakes. So, but I don't know how much a person can hate themselves you really have to hate yourself or be incredibly unaware of just what a what a dupe you are to believe or to buy into the whole Trump ideology. It's a grift. It always has been, except now the mask is really off. It's always been off, though, for anybody who wasn't a moron. We've seen this guy. You know what he is. He brings nothing to the table. I mean, it's entirely disgraceful and offensive, frankly, that this person is considered in any way fit to be the standard bearer of a major political party. That they had so many opportunities to get rid of him, excise him like a boil on the body politic. They had so many opportunities. They could have joined in impeaching him numerous times. They could have, especially after January 6th. All the Republicans had the perfect opportunity. And Lindsey Graham's like, I'm out. Count me out of this insurrection. I'm out of here. And that didn't take long for him to be, genuflect to the con man again for whatever reason. To the traitor. All they had to do was stick together. Right? And stick together and get rid of this fucking guy. Like they did, like the Republican Party got rid of Nixon when he crossed as many lines as he crossed. And they finally went to him and said that enough is enough. But I guess at that time, who knows? There were more Republicans with integrity, but who knows? I wasn't around then. Being around now is bad enough. But those definitely seem like the good old days, that's for sure. Let's see. Collect, that's what it is. Collect. Because I was on the site earlier and I couldn't believe my beautiful eyes what I was seeing. Oh my, it's not loading. Look at this. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that they don't have enough bandwidth for the site because they're a bunch of cheap asses, and that's all everything is a grift. So why would you buy a website that had actual the ability to handle traffic? They probably got like the lowest plan on Wix or something. Oh, I hit the wrong button there. Collect. It's just like they do with that fake-ass Truth Social that he has. It's the same thing. They just steal the code. That's you can steal code off any website. It's just, that's what it is. It's the entire code that makes up the Twitter app, and they only altered, the colors and stuff. It's ridiculous. But look, it's not even loading. The site isn't even loading. Well, that makes a lot of sense. That's crazy. Well, that's because a lot of people are going to it. And it's exactly what I say. They just didn't buy the plan that handles enough traffic. Let's see. I'm just trying to open it in in Safari. No, still, it's not opening in any. Let me see if I search Trump NFT website down. Let's see. No. Well, I just wanted to go through some of the selections that you can get because they're pretty repugnant. Damn. But I mean, it speaks volumes. Let's see. I'm sure somebody has links. Incredible. But it says a lot that you can't get to his site. Collect. Yep. Just not loading. Fucking loser. What a fucking loser. But look at all of these images. It's obviously he has an incredibly distorted view of himself. I mean, I have body dysmorphic disorder, but like his is in reverse. You know what he actually looks like. It's not that, you know, I'm not trying to body shame. I don't even care. People like, you know, I don't, you know, that's just too easy. You know, I don't care about him. I'm not trying to save his feelings or anything, but it's just, you know, that's just too easy. Make fun of his, but he just doesn't look like a healthy person. And whatever this is, they need to add a couple of 100 pounds for sure. So and these are all excerpts from his life. When the fuck was he a spaceman? Or a cowboy? Or what is this? This is like Top Gun? Top Gun to the moon? It's really the most offensive. It really is. I don't know how you guys feel, but I am embarrassed. It's offensive. It's offensive to have that fucking guy as the former president of the United States. I mean, don't we love this country? We're supposed to at least respect it enough not to hand it over to a complete and absolute narcissist, a sociopath with nothing but a greed-centered ideology. It's all about feeding his greed. And if you're a Trumpanzee and you think that this is somebody working for you, you're part of the problem. I'm sorry. These people and actually, it's exactly what we talk about all the time. They are the victims of the right-wing media. This is why media is so important. And in fact, I saw this tweet earlier, which pissed me off. And it is emblematic of exactly what we're talking about. I'm trying to find it. And thank you, wait, Richard W. for your super chat. Of course, another great show, Tara. Thank you. You're nice. Okay, it finally loaded. Let's see. The Trump card collection finally loaded. Limited edition. Sweepstakes bonus. Miami dinner with Donald Trump. I mean, are you this fucking hard up, bitch? Really? Don't you have any dignity? I can't believe it, really. But have the Republicans said anything about this? How disgraceful this is? Now, what would they say if this were Obama? Of course, it would never be Obama because he's not a grifter. He's not a disgrace to the office. This is the guy that wanted to be the king of America. Of course he is. It's a joke. We are jokes by association. He denigrates the entire country with everything he does. That's for sure. It's a reflection on us. What kind of country would allow somebody like this into the presidency? And then we have this corporate media that no matter what he does, they have to somehow treat him with some seriousness when he's a clear and present danger to everything decent about democracy. He's a danger to democracy itself. He's a danger to to everything, to the children, to the future, to whether we survive as a United States. He is, it's so, I don't even know. It's beyond mockery at this point. This guy, he needs to be institutionalized. There is something fucking wrong with somebody who is, this is a pathology. Greed is a pathology. And the vision that he has, the narcissism, is so, it's so epic in him that it's beyond reason, and it's into farce at this point, where I wouldn't really be surprised. I often say, what is, it's like the Republican Party, but for years I wondered if they were this Andy Kaufman-esque type performance art against the country, because you wouldn't even believe this shit if you saw this in a movie about political corruption. This is right out of the Simpsons. Remember when the Simpsons, they did an episode which turns out to be prophetic, where Lisa Simpson was talking to President Trump. This was like decades before this grifter became the president, and they used Trump as because that was supposed to be the most outlandish choice. Of course, in the future, America would devolve so much that we would have a President Trump, but who the frick knew that it would become real? And we're all paying the price. I'm embarrassed. I gotta get sometimes I'm like, what the F? Well, I could kick my grandmother. I wish my grandmother would come visit me in the night to explain herself. What the F? Why did you leave? The entire world is laughing at us. And for all that, Donald Trump wants to impress the world's dictators, they don't even stoop this low. Their greedy narcissism, sociopathy, at least they hide it to a degree. It's so, he is riddled with the disease of greed that he can't help but spew it all over the place. And it's vile. And I have to wonder how much longer will the American people be deceived? The fact is, millions of Americans will vote. If this fucker runs again, they will vote for him. And, he's not poison to them. I don't get it. I look at this and I want to vomit. These are scenes from Trump's life? He's a football player? Oh, well, I do remember when he went to different stadiums, sporting arenas, and I don't remember exactly where because I don't watch sports, but he got booed. He got booed at the World Series, and then he got booed. He got booed in various places, I remember. But then he was on a mission not to get booed. So he had to fly everybody to Alabama. He started making appearances at different stadiums. So he finally got the reception he wanted at Alabama when they cheered for him because I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. obviously a lot. It's I don't know. I guess they all infect each other in Alabama with this stupidity. It's epidemic. So it's catching. Stupidity is catching, because that's one thing about the Republicans. They are, they don't try being a rugged individual in the Republican Party. They will not accept it. You have to be one of them. You got to be just like, you got to be a dupe. You got to be a cultist. You have to be a blind follower of nothing but of the poison that is killing you. That's the thing about the Republican Party, and why Roger Ailes proposed GOP TV to Richard Nixon back in the day. They knew that they needed to control the message. This is what we got for that. You see, this is the Telecommunications Act of '96 in action. That they created these silos of information which denigrate every government and the policies that actually built the middle class. And they knew that the destruction of the middle class and the dismantling of democracy needed to be covered by incessant conservative propaganda. So, they needed their propaganda outlets. And as they started to strip and turn the working class into the working poor, they needed to have, the megaphone telling the morons that their problems were not because of people like this grifter. You should want to be like this grifter. You too, if you don't give a shit about anybody else but yourself, maybe one day you'll come up with a scam, or you'll be able to marry a billionaire, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and marry some, billionaire grifter too. And then you too can kick down on anybody that, a loser, fat pigs, or, this is what the Republicans have brought us. And they talk about, of course, the division in the country, but, they are the ground zero for it. So that's the other thing. There's so many things we want to talk about. And one of the things, today, Adam Kinzinger gave his last speech on the House floor, which I listened to. And, of course, he had to play the both sides. This is the thing, saying, oh, well, both sides offer fear. I don't understand. Well, give me an example. Where's the both sides of, where are the Democrats offering or selling fear to the American people? Right? Where they don't seem to have any examples. I could tell you where the Republicans are telling you to be afraid, from everything from a goddamn caravan coming to slit your throat to, I have to show you one thing. Well, I'll show you many other things, but for example, here's another example. Hold on. Why can't I get this to work? Here's, I don't know if you saw this. So they're trying to impeach. This is their new thing. When they're in the House, everything's going to be investigations. Hunter Biden's laptop, and impeaching different of Biden's cabinet members. Hold on a second. So Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security, is in their targets. And here's Lauren Boebert talking about I guess, I don't know, in their estimation, he's doing a horrible job and he needs to be impeached. But here's
On Mayorkas's watch, more than 14,000 pounds of fentanyl was seized in fiscal year 2022 at our southern border. That is an all-time record high.
Yeah, okay. Isn't that a good thing? I don't understand. Is it that the Republicans are so addicted to the angertainment and the faux rage that they don't seem to get that seizing fentanyl at the border is actually a good thing? I mean, what does she want? Do they want it to get through the border? So, and I have to wonder, because I always say, Republicans aren't happy unless they're killing Americans. Unless Americans are needlessly dying, they are not happy. Prove me wrong. And so it baffles me why they would, and she's not the only one. Other Republicans all over, their social media feeds were saying how Mayorkas is seizing record amounts of fentanyl at the border. So I'm like, that's a good thing. That is not a bad thing. Yes, exactly, Ed. Stopping all those drugs is supposed to be a bad thing. That's why, this is how twisted they are. They have so twisted the American psyche that they I don't know what it is. It's just constant outrage about, with either they're deflecting or they're lying, and everything that they're presenting is just a disaster, right? It's a fucking disaster. But actually, this, I don't understand how this is considered a bad thing, but it's emblematic of how everything is bad. According to Republicans, everything sucks. The world, American carnage. Everything's like a ruined hellscape, Armageddon. It's like Mad Max out here, according to Republicans. And it's, I don't know. I had to grab that clip because it's baffling to me why that would be a bad thing. And in fact, that sounds like Mayorkas is doing a really good job, right?
On Mayorkas's watch, more than 14,000 pounds of fentanyl was seized in fiscal year 2022 at our southern border.
Oh my goodness!
That is an all-time record high.
That's fucking good. Do you want it to get through the border so Americans needlessly die? Is that what it is? You're not happy unless Americans are needlessly dying, so you're upset if all this fentanyl isn't coming through. And what are you going to do? That might not kill as many Americans as you want. Is that it? It could be. Because it seems to me that everything they do is designed to bring Americans to premature death. They certainly hate the American people. That's all we are to them. You understand? We're nothing but a bunch of suckers to be manipulated and siphoned money from. That's it. You think Trump is working for you? Dum-dums? Trump? Show me an example of this man, of Trump, ever doing anything for anybody but himself. There's no example in his entire life, his useless, wasted life, being a parasite, and that's what he is, just being a greedy, rapacious parasite that's never sated, that never brings anything to the table, that never adds light or decency or brings understanding to a situation. Always just, acts like, well, actually I saw Jane Goodall. She was on MSNBC and she was describing what Trump is sort of like a gorilla, the way he behaves.
Businesses will change.
Wait,
We're talking very high level, but
where is it?
when you made the connection or observation between one of the candidates, then Republican nominee Donald Trump, to chimpanzee aggressive tactics. We have a little bit of tape. Let's take a look.
We just turn it back to the insurance companies, get costs down, and keep quality up.
It's Rubio! It's the greatest hoax ever in the history of our country. Here's she, and here's Sleepy Joe. What?
The whole thing is an embarrassment.
I tested positive.
And look at him masturbating into the flag. This in itself is, I don't understand how people aren't repulsed by him. I guess, I know we are, normal people are, but I really do not get how anybody is taken in by this fucking con man. Jerking off into a flag, kissing a flag, hugging a flag. You don't have to hug flags if you are actually patriotic. If you actually do things for your country, if you contribute to your country by not being a greedy grifter, but hey, by paying your taxes, that contributes, because every time you pay your taxes, you're paying for the admission price to a civilized society. It doesn't come free. We pay for the infrastructure. We pay for the things that we all take it for granted. But, when you turn on the water that you're going to drink, it's not going to be filled with parasites. That's because we pay our taxes. When you drive down the road, it's paved because we pay our taxes. But Trump wants a free ride off everyone's back, and now he wants $99 for a picture of him in various poses. For what? Because he humped a flag in front of you, and you think that means that him funneling more money into the hands of people who will never spend it in 1,000 lifetimes, making the rich richer, you think that somehow is being a working class hero? I don't get it. How much do you have to hate yourself to be a Trump supporter? That really is the question. Because it has to, you gotta get something out of it. There must be, I guess, what they get out of it is this sense of community, that they're involved with something. They feel so puny in their own lives, and also they feel validated. Their ignorances are validated. Now they see the truth, right? Which is also, which is a lie, of course, through this grifter who's allowed them to, he speaks to them because he's just as ignorant as they are. He's just as racist as they are, and tiny and puny and afraid as they are. I don't know. I guess that has to be it. And all he does is mug for them, like Jane Goodall said. He acts like an ape, and they fall for it. But I always say that I study Trumpanzees like Jane Goodall studies the apes, so I thought this was pretty appropriate.
I tested positively toward negative. No, I tested perfectly.
I'm a perfect physical specimen, and I'm extremely young.
What do you see there?
I see the same sort of behavior as a male chimpanzee will show when he's competing for dominance with another. They're upright, they swagger, they project themselves as really more large and aggressive than they may actually be in order to intimidate their rivals. I'm not an American and I'm not a politician, but looking at it from outside, I see that the divisiveness that's being created in your America is a tragedy, and it's a tragedy that can have a ripple effect around the world.
Yeah, well, I guess there will be another side to this one day. I just hope I live long enough to see it. Because I do think that people are going to get to the point where everyone is sick of the cruelty, sick of the selfishness, the narcissism, sick of the grift. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's being a little too hopeful now that I'm thinking about it, too, because you would it's the anniversary of the Sandy Hook massacre just happened, and 25,000 kids have died by gun violence since that day, and nothing is happening. Nothing has happened. People are still able to buy assault weapons. Kids go to school and have to endure live shooter drills now instead of doing something, you see, instead of actually addressing an issue, because people like Trump and the Republicans, they get more out of not caring that kids are decimated in school to the point where they need to be identified through DNA. Because they're not, it's not them. So they get more out of allowing more kids to die than they do doing something about it, I guess. I don't know. So, and the propaganda channels will run cover for them. And here's the tweet I was talking about. I found myself on some right-wingers site because I was reading about how the Republicans have in the defense bill, the must-pass defense bill. It's always that, right? Or the money for the Pentagon. They the Republicans put in the defense bill they took out, what am I trying to say? The mandate, the COVID-19 vaccine mandate for the military, which was in place for a few years, and people were routed out. They didn't want to take the vaccine. So, and rightfully so. So they put that in in this I mean, I was just looking at Joni Ernst's Twitter feed, and the Republicans are saying how it's all for military readiness that they have removed this vaccine mandate. And once again, of course, they're wrong. It's selfishness. As somebody who's been in the military, you line up and you don't even know what vaccines you're getting. They're like boom, boom, boom. Next. Being vaccinated is part of military readiness. And if you didn't know that, I urge you to look up the USS Theodore Roosevelt, which was taken out of commission, was down for the count because of the COVID running rampant through the people on the ship, through the sailors. And so it's a matter of military readiness that goes back to the founding of the country, which we could say The country was founded on a vaccine mandate when George Washington mandated that the Continental Army get a vaccine, vaccinate themselves. Well, they had to be vaccinated against smallpox when that meant being sliced with an infected knife. So, George Washington mandated vaccines for military readiness, and then the Republicans say, okay, well, no more, because they are, the excuse is it's all for military readiness. Do you see the double think? They're doing it for military readiness when, one person could get sick, and if there's no vaccination, if your platoon isn't vaccinated, the whole fucking platoon could go down for the count. That was the reason why George Washington mandated the vaccine for smallpox, which at a time when the people did die from vaccines because you were getting the live virus. You were being sliced. That's how they did it. They sliced someone who had smallpox. They would slice the infection and then slice you with the knife. So you were getting the live virus, and I'm trying to remember the exact statistic, but I think it was like it was a high death rate. Many people actually got sick from it, not deadly sick, because they had discovered that if you were infected through the skin, it wasn't as severe as being infected if you had breathed it in or something. So that's, of course, how they did it. And you were basically guaranteed to get sick. Some people actually died from it. So, but it was worth it because during the time, both the British and the Continental Army were engaged in biological warfare. So it wouldn't, and that's what George Washington was afraid of, that they would deliberately infect the Continental Army with smallpox, and that would just wipe out. That would be the end of the country. So, maybe that would have been a good thing. Who knows? We wouldn't have had a Trump. But we would have had a... anyway. I was just thinking of that stupid Netflix special with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, which them two are, I've had enough of them. Anyway, okay, we'll talk about that maybe after, when we're just chilling out. Because it's so, give me a break. The whining, shut the fuck up already, Oh, you were so mistreated. Okay. Me too. But I never had a butler and a maid, and I never lived in a palace and had different castles to go to. And okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they were mean to you. H&M. Shut up. Stupid, annoying. Anybody else feel the same about that? Anyway, so I saw this tweet of this, whoever this person is, Jeep Girl 9272, and I went on her page, and she, she's a real Trumpanzee. Clearly, very, very sad case. But obviously, she's a Fox News victim. That was another thing that jumped out at me. Of course, she is. Tweeting, Fox bullshit, all kinds of right-wing palaver. Anyway, so she writes, I'm a single parent working almost 60 hours a week. The government then confiscates almost 1/3 of my pay and uses my hard-earned money to fund Ukraine and liberal handouts. If you're not angry, you're probably living off my money too. Enough. And then this other person retweeted it. I'm sick of it all too. Well, talk about being a dupe, right? I mean, that's somebody that is clearly the reason why Roger Ailes proposed GOP TV. There's a problem. You're paying taxes. You don't get much back here in the United States of serfs and lords. Yeah, we get services. There's a safety net if you are on the balls of your ass. If you are really poor, you can get health care. If you're really poor, you can get all kinds of, you got to be really, I mean, there's really no, there's no safety net for all. It all has to be, you got to deserve it. There's, in this country, there's something, they really propagate the notion of the deserving poor. Right? And this person is a dumbass. She's a dupe. The fact is, it's not about that the government is taking 1/3 of your pay and using your hard-earned money to fund Ukraine and liberal handouts. We have enough money, period, for greed, but not for everybody's need, as Gandhi said. The outrage should be towards the top. The people who over the 40 years that the United States went from the great prosperity to this trickle-down, whatever this is, where the middle class is now below 50% of the population, where, 1/3 can't retire, that people can't save $400 for an emergency, that we don't have any sick leave, or we don't have health care in the country. And all of these stressors. It's not, this is not about the fact that there are liberal handouts, because our country has a paltry social safety net. It's really compared to the rest of the world, but that's because of people like this hockey mom, Jeep Girl 9272. Who's been told that her problems are because there are people lower on the ladder taking advantage, and not the people at the top who, during, this 40 years, the rich used to, CEOs in a company would earn, quote unquote, 50 times the lowest paid worker. And now it's 450 times. Where the rich keep getting richer and richer, and corporations keep earning record profits. They're making buku bucks, these bastards. The executives are making buku bucks, but the people, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. For how long? How many years? The American people need living wages. That's what it's about. And this bitch points her anger at the people lower on the ladder, just like a conservative dupe. This is the problem. And why the Republicans and conservatives keep us divided through their media propaganda channels. They want this. They know that it's stressful. That they don't want to throw lifelines because they've come too far. Destroying the grand experiment. And they're not going back now. It was a real setback for them, losing. Unfortunately, we lost the House, but they generally lost the midterms, and thankfully, I believe, thank God, we might live to fight another day as a democracy. But So that sets them back a little, on their destruction path. And it's all about making the rich richer. And, people like her add to the stupidity. Like I had where is it? My friend Michael. That's my friend Michael Miller, who passed away recently. And this photo became, I used to call him the man and the meme, Michael Miller. He, this is a kind of well-known photograph taken at Occupy Wall Street down in Zuccotti Park, where Michael was, really heavily involved in Occupy Wall Street. And for those on the podcast, it says Fox News, rich people paying rich people to tell middle class people to blame poor people. And that's it in a nutshell. So, and it reminds me, let me show you this, of the child tax credit, which during the COVID pandemic, Americans would get, I think it was $300 for each child. And it made a big difference in people's lives. So, of course, the conservatives, and I'm talking about conservatives in both parties, because, of course, this time it was Joe Manchin. And I think Kristen Sinema, if I'm not mistaken, but voting against the child tax credit. Let me see. And the Democrats have tried to revive it. But the Republicans, what do you expect, right, from Republicans? Here's an article from the GOP House Ways and Means, whatever website, but it comes from their filthy mouths. They write, debunking Democrat myths about the child tax credit. Good jobs and rising paychecks do more to lift Americans out of poverty than dependence on never-ending government checks. You see the canards there? Good jobs and rising paychecks. Well, that sounds like so fantastic. But raise the federal minimum wage to $30 an hour. That might do something. But of course they won't. It's like Alito telling women who don't like the fact that that the Republicans have stripped women of bodily autonomy, a right that they thought they had for the last 50 years. It's like him telling the American women, oh, well, you can just go vote, as they gerrymander and rig and voter suppress and, just go vote, you dumb bitches. It's the same thing here. Good jobs and rising paychecks. Well, what are you doing, Republicans, what are you doing to make sure that people are being paid a living wage? They don't do a goddamn thing. They, in fact, they do everything they can to ensure that the American people are exploited this definitely the Supreme Court, but the Republican Party is always ingratiating themselves to the rich and business and kicking down on the American people. That's why we're in this boat. Good jobs and rising pay. So they write, there are a number of factors contributing to poverty. And this is the other thing about the Republicans. They always say that Johnson's war on poverty didn't work because there were there's still poor people and this is what they do. It's like everything that they do. It's like Obamacare, for example. They complain. Well, they do nothing. And then when something is passed, they do everything they can to put poison pills into the bills. And then they complain that it's not working. Right. So it's the same thing they did with Obamacare when they went after the risk corridor payments, and they undid the mandate. Right. That came from the Supreme Court. They said that, well, that's unconstitutional. Right. But the mandate is how the mandate was necessary to ensure that everyone didn't have to pay an arm and a leg. So we would all get into this is the Republican health care plan to give the for-profit insurance racket people who to pay premiums. But, anyway, you know what I'm saying. This is what they do. They put poison pills in everything, and then they say, look, it's poisoned. So Democrats' expansion. See, you know how this drives me insane. The way they fucking write and speak. Everything, the Democrat myth. That's democratic, bitch. Democrat myth about that in itself. We never hear the corporate media call it out. No one ever calls it out. And so it just is normal. Democrats expansion. The name of the party is Democratic. Why doesn't anybody ever point it out to them? If you can't even say the name of the party, go pound sand, you child, you overgrown, emotionally stunted schoolyard bully. That's all you have. It's like Adam Kinzinger both sidesing us, right? But then saying how Trump is a danger to American democracy, but then again voting against any the Voting Rights Act, any attempt to fix what the corrupt Republican Supreme Court broke, right? They broke the Voting Rights Act too. And the John Lewis Voting Rights Act that didn't pass because Republicans again. Well, Adam Kinzinger could have voted for that. But anyway, both sides. Democrats have historically opposed expanding the child. So they're saying that in the past, Democrats opposed it. Now, I don't know if this is true, but who cares? This is now. It's like right. It reminds me how recently when Biden signed the Respect for Marriage Act, all these fucking Republicans are tweeting videos of Biden in the past saying how, whatever, he said something about, marriage should be between a man and a woman. He said something on a TV show once, 40 years ago, that marriage should be between a man and a woman. So, and they're tweeting this out as if it's another thing. It's sort of like the other video we just played with Lauren banned from the bowling alley Bobert complaining about the drugs not getting through. And, it's like, this is a bad thing. So somebody changed their mind from something they thought 40 years ago. That's not exactly something to not appreciate, right? People change over years. They change, you would think, for the better. And, okay, good. So he changed. Who cares? What does that mean? So this is what really got me here with the fucking Republicans about the child tax credit. Democrats expansion of the child tax credit discouraged work. Yeah, because you're not working enough. American productivity is through the roof, but they'll go and they'll find some dude, right, that's taking advantage. Maybe he gets $16 more in welfare than he should, and that's taking advantage. And they'll hammer it to, just crush any attempt to throw the American people a lifeline. And then also it's also about ensuring that the average American dumbass doesn't think that the government, like the lady tweeted, the government takes and takes from me and does nothing for me. Well, that's the plan, bitch. So why don't you organize and stop voting against your own best interest? Stop voting for the people that are selling you the poison that you're taking, and then you're spewing it out all over the rest of us. This ignorance, right? Why don't you stop voting for your own demise? Oh, the Democrats take. Well, that's why we would like, when we pay our taxes, to get, like the rest of the world, get some health care, maybe, get some help. Maybe that the government, the proper role of government, is to come in and say to corporations that, here's the living wage you have to pay. If you can't pay that, you can't play in our sandbox. Go pound sand somewhere else. Go to some shithole country. But this is a modern country with an economically vibrant working class majority, right? That's the dream. If you could pay your executives millions upon millions, and then every time you turn around, one of them is auditioning for American Greed, right? All you got to do, watch that show, American Greed, every day. That FT, whatever that is, asshole, is going to be on there soon. But it's always greed, American greed, all the time. Someone taking advantage, some rich fucker. It's never enough. They got to have more. Well, you got nothing. And you're working 3 jobs. You got your side hustle, your second job, your side hustle on the side of that hustle. But you're not working if you get a child tax credit. It discourages work. Well, fuck you, Republicans. You see, this is all about depressing the so-called rising paychecks they want, right? They want as many, desperate people out there. So, because desperate people don't demand living wages, they don't stand up for themselves. They take any shit that's shoveled at them. And that's the way they want the American people, because they saw what happened in the 60s when the American working class, the middle class, was actually a middle class. Well, the white middle class, I should say. They said, they stood up. They said, I'm not going to your war. They said, we want a seat at the table. Black people wanted a seat at the table. Women wanted a seat at the table. Gays wanted a seat at the table. That's too much. That's too much chaos for Republicans. They need you nice and depressed and desperate and fighting other people who are depressed and desperate. That's the scam in a nutshell. And so they'll, they see it. They know this is what they do. And we've played clips of Tucker Carlson. They diagnose the problem, and then they offer voodoo as the solution. They know, we've played clips on the show of Tucker Carlson that sounded like they could have come out of this show. saying how the working class has been smushed and has been, abused and falling down lower on the ladder and all this other shit. And it sounds like something I would say. And then they say, because abortion and people don't go to church. This is the other thing. I heard this on Morning Joe the other day. They were like, oh, everyone's divided and the American people are dying of death by despair at record rates, and everyone's stressed. The level of stress in America is through the roof. And you know what they said? Because, well, Joe Scarborough said, because people don't go to church anymore. Yeah. Sell them the mansion in heaven. Because the earthly rewards are all going to the top. So go and they're not at church. That's what he said. I almost puked. Because he was saying people they don't talk to each other anymore, and at least at church you talk to people, and if you have a problem, others will say, can I help you? And that's a totally different conversation. Okay, if you're isolated, it's not go to I joined the SGI, so okay, go to a meeting or whatever. I'm telling you, people are stressed not because they're not going to church. Well, we should all go to Joel Osteen and the prosperity gospel. Is that it? Because that's the whole scam too. That it's not the system, it's you. You're just not working hard enough. Well, I'm telling you, there's not enough hours in the day to work if you're not earning a living wage. You motherfuckers, I can't take it. These people who are in the ivory tower, just like that sign said that Michael Miller was holding. Rich people paying other rich people to tell middle class people their problem is poor people. And I mean, we've talked about it before. It's the scam. It gets me. It annoys me. I see it all the time. I told you, I see it in my family. My sister getting upset. Oh, because of she's not. The kids when they were in college. If they were dreamers, they get a free ride, a whole full ride. Well, why are you voting Republican? They're a dream because, they're the ones that want you to get as much education as you can afford. Right? That came right out of Mitt Romney's mouth. They don't give a shit. What did they do? What did what's her name? That fucking what's her face? The Secretary of Education under Trump, Betsy DeVos. She was one of these. What did she do? She rolled back. There was a relief for people who had been taken by these scam fake universities, and she rolled it back or something. Am I wrong about that? No, I don't know I can't remember the exact story. So Secretary DeVos, who, I mean, a joke in itself, rolls back. What did they call them? Like these pay university, whatever. These, the scams. Like a Trump university. Yeah, repeals. That's what it is. Betsy DeVos scraps Obama-era rule on for-profit colleges. This is what they fucking do all the time. They keep heaping shit on the American people because they want you to be stressed out, and they want your racist funny bone to be triggered. They want it to be like a open nerve that they can just go ding ding. They play like a fiddle. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos is rescinding an Obama-era rule that was created to protect students from abusive for-profit colleges. The rule, known as gainful employment, required for-profit colleges and career certificate programs to post debt-to-earning ratios, proving that their students could find good-paying jobs upon graduating. If the average ratio did not meet government standards, the school's federal funding would be revoked. The Department of Education outlined a number of reasons why the regulation was flawed. Yeah, I'm sure it was all bullshit. Under DeVos, it said that the rule failed to account for factors other than program quality that could affect the graduates' earnings. Like what? Them being stupid? Is that it? DeVos criticized the rule for not requiring nonprofit colleges to publish the data. Because everybody is scamming except the scammers. Released new stated data at the program level. Let me see. Consumer advocates slammed DeVos for rolling back the student safeguard. Again and again, Secretary DeVos proves she only cares about protecting for-profit colleges, no matter how many students they swindle, said Aaron Emmett, president of the National Student Legal Defense Network. DeVos has been widely criticized by Democrats for hiring department officials with ties to the for-profit college industry. I mean, it's the whole fucking thing is a grift. Here comes my cat, too. All right, I know you're here. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Bo-doo-doo. Bump, bump. Boo-doo-doo. Junior. Bo-doo-doo. I know. What are you doing? I fed you like 5 times. Jesus, help me. Let me see. Experts, here's from the debunking Democrat myths about the child tax credit. Experts, although they're not named, report the Democrats' child tax credit welfare checks. Of course, they have to add the welfare checks. Discourages work and ultimately harms families in poverty by reducing all income levels. Really? Democrats. It's the child tax credit welfare checks. That's not what it's called, but we need to say welfare because they have we work so hard on making that a negative term for our knee-jerk morons who consume our propaganda and hate other Americans, as long as they're, darker pigment people, especially, and, but they love Jesus. The Republicans love Jesus. They're all about Jesus, I'm sure. The last quarterly tax credit checks expire December 15th. Democrats are pushing to extend the welfare child tax credit permanently. Fuck you. That's not what it's called, right? But, they got nothing. They got nothing. And that's the thing. It's not a dirty secret. It's right there in the open. It's like Obamacare. I used to say the fact is, well, it's like everything else with the Republicans. the Republicans they hate Obamacare because it's something, you know? And Republicans got nothing. Where's their plan? Where's their health care plan? We're still waiting. Didn't Trump say it was coming in 2 weeks? Right? I don't know. Where is it? They've had how long? Over a decade now to reveal the Republican health care plan that's supposed to be great and cover everybody and not cost anything, which, I mean, I wish. That's what I want too, you dum-dums. Not you guys, I'm talking to Republicans. That's what I want. That's what it is. They got nothing. They got nothing. And it is so obvious to anybody who isn't a moron, to anybody who's not right now buying a Trump NFT. Everybody who isn't a moron understands that the Republicans are a clown show that offer nothing except faux rage, angertainment, and instructions who to hate next. That's all they got. Divide and conquer. And I love it. I mean, the same people, Republicans, they see conspiracies everywhere. There's a conspiracy to drink adrenochrome, right? That's the conspiracy, to harvest adrenochrome. But they don't see the fucking oldest conspiracy ever. The oldest conspiracy. Make the rich richer. Turn the working class into the working poor. Why don't they see that conspiracy? Because, you know why? I'll tell you. Because they are looking at the world through their racist, dumbass eyes. That's why. They are looking at the world through the tiny lens of their bigotries. And, yeah, it's very sad. They make me... Here, I wanted to play this. Oh, I have to play it off of YouTube because I didn't get a chance to grab it. But let me see. This is about the child tax credit.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley from Sandy Hook.
I know, Sandy Hook.
I know
Promise.
this is hard to hear, but it's important.
New data shows that
hold on.
more families with kids are struggling with food insecurity, growing by 12% in February after child tax credit payments ended in December. Our Brendan King is in the studio with us, and he talked to one mom who says the payments helped her family and tells us why now she advocates for those payments to return, Brendan.
Yeah, absolutely, Reba. And I know a lot of parents are probably paying attention to this right now. The child tax credit is a popular plan, according to the polls. Nearly 60% of Americans support them. A Verina mother tells me she was disappointed when that extra cash stopped coming in last December. So here are more stats from Children's Health Watch. It's a nonpartisan group, says the 12% increase in food insecurity equals triple pre-pandemic levels. 36 million families across the nation received child tax payments last year between $250 and $300 each month per child. Now, the group's report says the pandemic and inflation continue to cause economic hardship due to missed work. That's why the group is urging lawmakers to restart the popular child tax credit payments to help families. So I spoke to Abby Conley. She's from Verina. She says an extra few $100s a month would really help with their food bill. It also helps her pay for child care during the summer when she has to work her part-time job. That's another major expense for her family.
She's a lazy bitch.
Why do you feel so passionate about speaking out about this?
Because it's something that affects a lot of people that don't have the time or resources to talk about.
Well, it discourages
I'm very fortunate
work.
To kind of be home and available. And some people are working 3 jobs, taking care of many kids.
Well, you need a 4th job.
That it doesn't get a spotlight.
It discourages you from getting a 4th job.
Important to the whole society,
Don't
if people realize it or not. So every chance I get if I say yes to talk about things like this.
Well, on the other hand, this morning, critics and opponents of the child tax credit worry that the influx in cash is contributing to the rise in inflation right now. Some lawmakers working to reinstate the credits, but it's really unclear if there's a majority support in both houses of Congress right now. But we'll certainly keep you updated. Reba?
All right, thanks. Brendan King reporting.
Well, it won't happen. It was in the Build Back Better bill. You realize that. The child tax credit was in Build Back Better. It was a permanent feature. But, you know, can't have that because of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and every single Republican. Here's another YouTube story. Wait a minute. Come on. How come I can't? Wait, hold on. Here we go.
Food on the table to put gas in the tank. But at the same time, those millions of they stopped receiving them.
Her name is Mehmet.
Hold on.
Those payments.
I don't know what the
exclusively with NBC News showed just how much of a lifeline it was.
Obviously, many videos are playing at the same time, and I don't know why. Why is that happening? Why is something wrecking this show? More than me. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys.
It's no secret that American families
These feeding techniques are among the rarest and oldest in the world.
To put gas in the tank,
from an 86-year-old dough maker in Greece, who is one of the last to make gin filo by hand,
playing that,
to a family in India that uses methods dating back to the 1500s of trampling on cashew fruit to make a rare liquor.
I'm not playing
and the
it,
soy sauce
I don't know where it's
artisan in
coming
Japan,
from.
who brews his recipe in...
Shut up, lady. I'm not trying to play that video right now. Bing, bang, 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 bing, bang, bang. You see what I'm saying? This is why you need to support the Tarabuster sponsors at APS Radio News and become a Tarabuster patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin so we can get some help up in this bitch for this bitch. All right.
Tax credit, monthly payments for families with children, they stopped receiving those payments. Now, this study shared exclusively with NBC News showed just how much of a lifeline it was. Since those payments stopped, food insecurity has increased by 12%.
That's how they
those payments ended because Congress did not pass an extension of the child tax credit, and West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin was the lone Democrat to vote against that extension. We spoke with a mom in West Virginia about just how much those payments meant to her and what she's hoping her senator will do next. Watch.
Oh, you want to drop all the way down? Okay.
Kristen Olson is a single mom to 3 boys. Her youngest, George, is 4.
I just want him to know and to have the same opportunities as everybody else.
Last year, Kristen felt like she had some room in her budget to give George those opportunities. Today, she says, is a different story.
So, like, all of our bills keep going up. Gas, right, utilities, water, like everything. My rent went up $75 a month in January. Food. And so then they take that $300 away. Oh, are we going to get a car?
Grace and George are among nearly 36 million families who received the expanded child tax credit in 2021. When those payments stopped in January, the struggle started.
We've been finding clothes giveaways.
You took advantage of some food pantries, too.
Yeah, took advantage of food pantries. Was
it your first time going to a food pantry?
Yes. And I've struggled before, right? I've been a single mom almost my whole life, 24 years, but it got to the point where we had no food.
New data from Children's Health Watch shared exclusively with NBC News reveals just how much of a lifeline these payments were for families like this one. Finding the advanced child tax credit payments led to a reduction in food insufficiency. Children's Health Watch also finding racial and economic disparities among those who received payments.
While families were receiving the child tax credit payments in the fall, there was a 26% reduction in food insufficiency among families with children. When we looked at that same data set in February, after the monthly payments had expired for families, what we saw was a 12% increase in food insufficiency for families. The fact that we saw a significant reduction in food insecurity really speaks to the fact that people were using this to afford basic needs.
I didn't used to have to pinch pennies like this.
Kristen lives in West Virginia, where 93% of children qualified for the child tax credit.
93%.
These families haven't received a payment since December, when Congress
Joe Manchin.
failed to
He's
pass
fine.
the Build Back Better Act. The legislation would have made these payments permanent. But Chris's Senator Joe Manchin was the lone Democrat to stand in the way, saying he views the credit as a disincentive to work.
I've been basically very clear on that. I think there should be a work requirement.
And privately saying he worried people were using the money to buy drugs.
Unreal.
For Chris, who works multiple jobs, that hurt to hear.
But it's like he's just saying you're not worth investing in when they're not giving us
that's
this
what
money.
he's saying.
Your children aren't worth it.
What
He wants
would
you to
getting the
struggle.
child tax credit back mean for your son George?
For George, it would mean going back to jiu-jitsu, easier school clothes. It would mean a better new sneakers.
With Congress back in session, lawmakers are working to pass a slimmed-down version of the president's Build Back Better agenda. Republican opponents of President Biden's agenda say policies like the expanded child tax credit payments are contributing to the country's record levels of inflation because it
Like they
increased
care.
spending. Now, parents
They
like
love
Chris are looking
inflation.
for relief more than ever.
They
when
got
it
no
seems
plan
less
to do
likely
anything
they'll
about
get
it.
from Washington.
But they could use it politically.
The work, the side hustles, all of it. All of the hustle that you put in every day to provide for him. What do you hope that turns into?
I just want him to know that he has the power to, live his best life.
He wasn't,
Presently, despite all of those
born
positive
on
impacts,
third
the
base.
study also found disparities in who received the child tax credit. For example, immigrant mothers, families with immigrant mothers were less likely to receive those payments. Latino families were less likely to receive them. And families without active bank accounts were less likely to receive the child tax credit compared to families with active bank accounts. Children's Health Watch does make policy recommendations based on their findings, and they are recommending that Congress pass an extension of the child tax credit, and of course that those disparities get addressed as well. St. Clair.
Important reporting. Dasha Burns, thank you.
Recommended, schmecommended.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow.
Yeah. Recommended, 90% of the American people want background checks on gun purchases in the very least, but that's not happening anytime soon. At least another 25,000 children are going to have to die. At least. Close unnecessary tabs, Tara? Who said that? I'm just kidding. Why? Is it not... didn't run right? It don't run right? It's not working? It was jumpy? Choppy? I know, I do have like a million tabs open. I'm sorry. I got like 50 tabs open, yes. I need a new computer. This computer needs or at least it needs an overhaul. But, patrons and all. Let me see. Let me close some of the windows here. But I understand. Is it okay? It's okay. Anyway, it's so depressing. Look at how many tabs I have open. That's why I'm depressed. I have I'm not exaggerating. I do have about 30 to 40 tabs open right now. So, anyway, I'm very depressed. I just got depressed right now. Thinking about how stupid we all are. Not us, this country. It's so dumb. Yeah. So easily played. And it's, I don't know, will we get to the point where people are just sick of it? Sick of the cruelty? Sick of the division? To me, it's so easy to look through the scam. You know, like to see the game being played, and to hear Joe Manchin talk about how he thinks it's that giving or lifting Americans out of poverty, it is an investment in the American people. It's an investment in the future, in children. But we don't do that in this country. We only invest in billionaires, making more narcissistic billionaires and their admirers. That's what we invest in. Making narcissistic billionaires and their admirers, giving them a platform to yell the N-word, and making sure that what do the Republicans do, or the conservatives in this sense, right? Well, Joe Biden actually, let's see, he had a major announcement to counteract the con man's major announcement. And here, let's see. He said, that's probably why it's taking so long, right? To load, because I have 50,000 windows open. I had some major announcements in the last couple of weeks. Inflation is easing. I just signed the Respect for Marriage Act. We brought Brittany Griner home. Gas prices are lower than a year ago. 10,000 new high-paying jobs in Arizona. Well, all of those are bad news for Republicans. Because what are they going to do? What are they going to say? They like inflation. That's why when they're complaining about inflation, that's why they don't want to pass the permanent child tax credit, even though it lifts, all of these millions of children out of poverty. They should be embarrassed, but they won't, and they aren't embarrassed. They have no shame. But that's what they've been taught in the last few years. All right, relax. Stop. God, you're killing me over here. They've been taught that the only thing that you do as a Republican is that you never look at yourself, you never apologize, and you're shameless. Yeah, you don't know when to be embarrassed because the shame bar is so low. That, do they even have a shame bar anymore? The shame is a necessary feeling that Mother Nature gave us. It's supposed to deter behavior. Oh, I don't want to do that again. Public shaming. There's something to be said for it. That's the way we kind of say, no, we don't like that. Maybe refrain. Sort of like when Sarah Huckabee Sanders went out to dinner and the gay chef was like, you know what, I'm not cooking for this fascist bitch. So, I have too much respect for myself. And she was shamed. That's shaming. That's public shaming. And then, of course, Republicans were all upset because they want no consequences for their actions. That's the way it is. That is what they consider freedom. They could be as horrific as they could ever dream of. And there should be no response. We should all be like, freedom, right? That's the way it is. They want to be able to call everybody a fat pig on Twitter or whatever, mock people, mock and not give a shit about anybody else but themselves. This is the mentality. And that's why, we talk about, well, I always say I wish that Democrats would listen to this show and get some talking points, take some talking points, because it is about, leaving no one behind. I don't know. I'm sick of the cruelty, for sure. I'm sick of the indifference. I'm sick of people who get joy out of, I don't know. Well, here's an example. This came out today. Washington Post confirms there will be cuts. They had a town hall, and of course this rich bastard told everybody at the end of the town hall, oh yeah, we're doing great, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to be cutting some staff and, have a nice Christmas and all. So people like, huh, what? Here's a video. But anyway, guess who is very pleased about that? The usual suspects, the Republicans, of course. They were all like, yay, people are losing their jobs. Whippy doopy. That's great news. Oh, wait, that's not the one.
Staff has some questions right now. You have questions. And I think because we're journalists, you should answer them, because we're a news organization that values transparency, and this is our only opportunity.
No, you have multiple opportunities. As representatives of the Guild, we have representatives from the Post. You meet every week, you're meeting tomorrow. We're not going to turn the town hall.
This isn't only about the Guild.
Turn the town hall into a grievance session for the Guild.
It's not a grievance session, it's questions.
Brad, you talked about positions getting eliminated. What are you going to do to protect people's jobs? Are they going to be treated like the magazine staffers were? Are you going to try and
we'll have more information as we move forward. Thank you very much.
Is this a
You seem to be disrespecting this room. You are disrespecting this room.
Well, you don't have to answer to you plebs.
This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
It's the plebs, So anyway, the Washington Post Guild, the union that represents the workers at the Washington Post, were appalled. It said that the publisher dropped a bombshell on us by announcing more layoffs, and then walking out, refusing to answer any questions. Anyway, I know I hate to do this to you guys, but here it is. Guess who was incredibly pleased by this?
Well, guys, in the feel-good story of the week, the Washington Post is apparently laying off a lot of journalists, activists, whatever you want to call it, because 500,000 people canceled their subscriptions.
Well, that's not why. Yeah, I don't know where he's getting this figure from, but they have to feed the misinformation machine, of course. No one said anything about 500,000 people canceling their subscriptions, and you will not be able to convince me in any way, shape, or form that Trumpanzees were outraged at the Washington Post and they're canceling their subscriptions. They don't read the Washington Post. They never did. They read the fucking New York Post, if that. They don't read. They go on Twitter. They go on the conservative Reddit site. They go on 4chan. So, no, that's not what happened. Because what is this with the fucking flailing of the arms? And he is clearly, look at him. He's on drugs, in my professional opinion.
Stick around, shockingly, to listen to Taylor Lorenz cry about people being mean to her on the internet after she was totally fine, like doxing private citizens and all these things. But it's pretty amazing. Watch the video of the people in charge, the boomers in charge, basically talking to this whiny group of reporters. And we're not going to turn this...
Whiny? They're asking the publisher, what? You just said people are getting laid off. Whiny. But, this is Donald Trump Jr., who's never had to work a day in his life. His job is being the spawn of a tax-cheating, draft-dodging, dictator-envying con man with a fake university and a vitamin scam. And also now an NFT scam. That's his job. He's never had to get a job because he's been the VP of hawking merch to morons. That's what he is for his daddy. For his not a billionaire daddy who doesn't pay his taxes.
Town hall into a grievance session. Well, guys, the entire Washington Post has become a grievance session. So it's a little bit too late, but it's amazing to actually see that.
It's amazing. It's a grievance. Give me an example. They don't like journalism. That's what it is. They hate the pillars of democracy. And anybody who tells the truth about them is a problem. So, like all fascists, they have to attack the media. They have to attack the press. And if there's actually an article that tells the truth, they have to tell their morons, do not watch or look at anything. In fact, that's exactly what the con man said. Don't believe your eyes, only believe what I say, right? That's what he said to them. I will tell you what the real truth is. I mean, he has this fucking so-called Truth Social. A dumbass, a con man who couldn't tell the truth if you paid him $99 for an NFT. He cannot tell the truth. He is, I don't know who he thinks he's kidding anyway. I don't know, man. Suckers are born every minute. Trumpanzees are living proof. They really are.
And watch these people turn what they did to these newspapers back on them. Check it out, and I'll be back with some commentary.
Check it out. Such scintillating commentary. We just saw that. Oh, listen, guys.
But this is amazing. This is what's happened.
It is?
Are the parents of these journalists going to start calling into the Washington Post to complain because their child didn't get a participation medal?
It's a Mad Libs of Trumpanzee trigger words coming. Dude, are the parents going to call? Is that like what happens when you are whatever your daddy actually I guess his daddy wouldn't give a shit about him. His father actually hates him, and we know that from it was validated by Michael Cohen. He's considered a moron. His father, the moron Trump considers his spawn a moron and has absolutely no sense. That's what he says. That has to believe. Could you imagine? But he, it's so, it's you don't have. I have a Psych 202. I took Psych. I went past 101. I went to 201. 201. Psych 201. In my Psych 201 analysis, you really don't have to be Freud to unpack Donald Trump Jr., who really wants daddy to love him. He knows that he's inadequate. He knows that he's a fraud. He has to continuously prove that he's a good little boy, to Daddy because he wants something that he'll never get, and that is his father's love. And his father, and that's why he's so tormented. He's a very damaged person. And his father will never love him because he's incapable of love, because he's a sick person. He's a sociopath. So he only views Donald Trump Jr. as an accessory. That's the way sociopaths operate. So he's only, considered whatever, whatever passes for love for Trump is him, I guess, standing next to his son with a thumbs up. Right? And Donald Trump Jr. is always performing for his father because the performance is love me daddy. And that's why he's sick. He's sick and suffering, but I couldn't give a shit, really. I mean, if you walked into one of the rooms of recovery, I'd be like, who wants to be this fucker's sponsor? Nobody, right? Could you imagine? But he needs help. He's really, he looks like he's on a downward spiral. I mean, I guess, you know what it is? They really want you, in order to be a Trump dupe, you have to be deceived on all levels. Like, you really can't trust your lying eyes. So when you look at Donald Trump Jr. and you see that there's something wrong here. Like, he's loaded. We know what people look like when they're high. We know. That's him. He is loaded. He's packed to the gills. And then this is his commentary. That's the other thing that gets me depressed. When I was grabbing this video, it was on his Facebook page, but there were a lot of normal people on there commenting, and so I was encouraged by that. But there were also a lot of Trumpanzees, morons, people who sad cases who, I don't know what the hell. Why would you deliberately seek out this person's commentary? Right? Oh, yeah, we'll be right back with... It sounds like it's all the same commentary anyway. Oh, yeah, they want a participation trophy, and they're woke, and, get a real job. Not like me, right? This is like the most epic self-own ever. It's like he has absolutely no self-awareness. The daddy's gonna call and call up the Washington Post and say, well, my son is not. You're not giving my son a job. What? That's your world, honey. That's where you live. You're the VP of the Trump clown show. You never had an actual job in your life. You never had to go on an interview. You never had to put your qualifications down and be vetted and go through background checks and go through 1 interview, 2 interviews, 3 interviews. You never had to do that. You never had to justify your worth. You never had to bring anything to the table. And you bring nothing to the table. That's why you can get loaded all day and watch videos and hire people to ghostwrite books and do coke and kill animals. That's what he does. This is what this fucking person does. I swear to God, there has never been a more useless family on the planet except for Mary Trump. She's only one person, though. And she can't do it all for the whole family. She can't validate or redeem the whole family. She's only one human being. But it's astonishing. It really is. How worthless, how much damage, how much how much can one family take from the world all the time? Just all the time. Take, more, give me more. They bring nothing. They add poison, and then they take more. They take people's souls. They take their sanity. They take everything. And now they're coming for the democracy itself. Decency, dignity, democracy. They take it all. It's incredible. I can't, it's like we would, I don't know, what family is worse? They bring nothing. There's no noblesse, no whatever. I can't say those words. Nobel oblige. I can never say that. Noblesse, you know what I'm saying. Nobel's oblige. I can't say that. It just will not come out of my mouth. It's so annoying. There's none of that. There's none of this, oh, well, we were born. Because they weren't. That's the other thing. They know they weren't born into privilege. Their grandfather was a rich racist, member of the KKK, of course. And, well, I don't know. Was he a member? I know he was arrested at a KKK riot in New York City. But I'm sure he was on the wrong side, meaning he's a filthy racist. And they were. I mean, we know for a fact that they would not rent to anyone with darker pigment, and they would write C on applications for colored. So that was like they put the X on, and they had to pay. They actually had to pay a fine because they were exposed for that practice. I mean, they're just filth. They bring nothing. They do nothing but destroy. They destroyed. I know there's a whole other story. Let's see. Trump destroyed Coney Island. Look, now I'm scratching my nose. There's like a famous story. His dad destroyed Coney Island. But, remembering the day, there was a famous landmark that they ripped down. Could you imagine? It would be so charming to go there. They ripped it down to put up tacky, shitty apartment buildings. And then they ripped down this piece of history. And they did it, and this is what they do. This is another thing that Trump does. He also, there was a piece of art. Where was this? In New York City. And there was a facade that it goes back to, I guess probably when FDR was hiring artists to create art all over the country as part of the New Deal. Let me see, facade. And Trump, he ripped it down. And he was specifically told to not do that. That they had to take this piece of history, and they had to take it out of the side of the building and preserve it. But that costs money, you see. So he had no time for this. It was so much easier just to put the jackhammer to this beautiful facade and fucking destroy it. You see, having to preserve it, you would have to pay a couple of more dollars. So that's what he did. Let's see. Let me look that up. Destroyed. Oh, he's just a horrible person. Yep. Say, how Donald Trump took down Bonwit Teller. Oh, shit, the damn thing. A paywall just popped up when I was reading it. I hate when that happens. Let me see. Well, we can watch him while I look this up.
They run a paper into the ground with their woke nonsense, and now we get to hear about their pouty, whiny voices. I mean,
this is commentary, guys. This is what passes for political commentary on a Republican whatever. Some Republicans, they follow him. They like him. Some of them even propose him as the natural successor to the con man. Yes, they would vote for Donald Trump Jr. Oh, they really... I've seen these videos of these Trumpansies. Oh, yes, I really would love Donald Trump Jr. to run for office. Well, why not? I mean, we've hit bottom, so why not open the trap door and keep on going? Donald, Ivanka, Eric. Put Eric up there, too. Whatever. Any other con men you got? You got any other grifters hawking, diabetes cures, cranberry diabetes cure, or ED drugs? Throw them in there, too. Well, why not gold, right? Buy gold. Buy horse pills, or ivermectin, or whatever. Cures. Magic cures. Magic beans. Anybody got some magic beans? Make him. Hey, he was able to sell a lot of magic beans to a lot of morons. So, hey, yeah, he could run the country. Let's make him president. That will make us proud. We will be making America great again.
Sounds like a high school right now. People aren't getting their way, so they're going to complain. And guess what, folks? Welcome to the real world. And again,
where do you live in the real world? When have you ever lived in the real world? Donald Trump Jr. I mean, it's like the lack of self-awareness. These Republicans, they really don't need a wall. They need a mirror. It's amazing to me. They never look at themselves. What are you talking about? But I guess that's part of the grift, accuse others of the very thing of which you are guilty. That's a very fascist tactic. So it's the gaslighting. It's the whole scam. It's the scam in living color.
Journalists, whatever you want to call them, it's amazing. It's actually kind of satisfying to watch because these are the people that created the foundation for this nonsense, right?
What nonsense?
They need to get everything their way. They've never had any real issues. The issues that they've made into global issues are things that just real people couldn't care less about. And now they're confused.
Oh, no
It's like their parents finally dropped them from the cell phone plan or dropped them from their insurance, and now they got to function in the big personal world for the first time ever. It's actually hilarious how they react to any challenge, any adversity, and it's actually really scary.
Any challenge, it's hilarious, it's scary, it's very funny, it's awesome, it's woke, it's everything. It's all the trigger words
for the future of our country, because I imagine a lot of this aligns up with that next generation. None of these
they all suck
these days, or these young aspiring journalists or whatever, they've never functioned in the real world, and they live in some sort of fake utopia. So
yes, they know nothing. They have only grown up in 2 financial crises, a global pandemic, the live shooter drills. They just don't know how to function in the real world. Yes. They don't know what to do. If they need cocaine, they don't know who to call. Or where, what grift to do to get the cocaine. It's like they don't know anything about the real world. So let's, so what? What the fuck is wrong with these people? And that went on, and it keeps on going.
Howdy, whiny voices. It sounds like a high school.
Howdy, whiny
right?
voices. Sounds like a high school. It is they never learned how to function in the real. What are you fucking talking about? These are people that just heard that some people are getting laid off, and they want to know what? You just went through a whole thing about how great we're doing, and now you're telling us that you're gonna fire people? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. We would like to know. And then you bounce? Of course, the guy who bounces, they never would ever point a finger at him, at the person at the top, because you're supposed to be able to smash the necks of those who work for a living and not have to explain yourself. Just put your knee on their neck and walk away without ever looking back. Who cares? Fuck them. Fuck them. They don't live in the real world like Donald Trump Jr. does. They don't know. They never had on their daddy's cell phone plan like Donald Trump Jr., VP of the fucking Trump organization since the day he was born. Unreal. And like his father, who is a grifter, billionaire grifter, wasting his time selling non-fungible tokens of his stupid face photoshopped on muscular bodies. How? Where do we live? Why is this happening? Have we all had enough of it yet? Why are there any people at all who watch, who give this fucking family and this party that they represent, that give them anything, any attention, their votes? They vote for this shit? They vote for the. I'm telling you, I can't. I'm repeating it because I can't believe it. They vote for this shit. They say they got an opportunity to say more of that, please, and they click yes. More bullshit, more lies, more division. More nonsense, more cruelty, too. That's the other thing about this video. Daddy and Mommy. These are people who are losing their job, you fucking traitorous, goddamn grifting traitor tot. What do you know about that? You could fuck up from sun up to sundown, and you do. And you don't lose your job because you're daddy's little grifter. You're daddy's little traitor tot who never had to work a day in his life. He's dancing as fast as he can to the Love Me Daddy tune. And no matter how cruel he is, how stupid he is, how much of an echo chamber of the grift he is, I'm sorry, Donald Trump Jr. The reason why you're doing drugs and the fact that you you can't help yourself. You have to continuously do drugs to the point where you go on Facebook looking like this. I mean, you got a problem, bud. But okay. But that's the reflection of the fact that deep in your soul, wherever it is, that your daddy doesn't love you. And you're a fraud. That's the other thing. I guess that's the Trump disease, except for Mary Trump. She's the only one that's not a fraud. She's got some qualifications. But all the frauds in the Trump family, they got to work real hard for you not to notice. But we notice it. It's so glaring. It's like, that's Donald Trump's thing, too. That's why he has to say, I'm your favorite president, better than Washington, better than Lincoln. Because he knows he's a traitor. He knows that he is unfit, that he has no business somewhere in there. He knows this. This is why. I mean, he's afraid of the rest of us figuring it out. But, the majority of us do. Unfortunately, the system is so broken by the greedy grifters like this fucker that it's like, how much more can we take in this broken ass system that puts people like this above others? Have we had enough yet? Really? Have we had enough of this? This is why the founders fought a revolution. You understand? So Donald Trump Jr. wouldn't lord over us because he was born on third base thinking he hit a fucking triple. Right? I mean, this is why. We wouldn't have to endure. We wouldn't have to just hope above hope that whoever got to be above us by mere accident of birth wasn't a complete sociopath. But as history shows, that was a pretty losing bet for the people.
Aren't getting their way, so they're going to complain. And
they're going to complain.
Guess what, folks?
They're losing their
welcome
jobs.
to the real world. And again, these activists, journalists,
world.
Whatever you want to call them, it's amazing. It's actually kind of satisfying to watch because these are the people that created the foundation for this nonsense, right?
What nonsense?
They need to get everything their way. No. They've never had any real issues.
Okay.
The issues that they've made into global issues.
Like what? Like climate change? Like what? Like economic disparity? Like corruption in government? These issues, they should be focusing on the real issues like trans people or drag queen story hour. The real things, like what books to ban, like the election police, right? They're focusing on these things. They're making it real issues like climate change, income disparity, upward immobility, hands flying. God.
They just, real people, couldn't care less about. And now they're confused. It's like their parents.
They're confused, yes. That they think that, they shouldn't say something at a town hall, a company meeting? When the publisher says, yeah, we're firing people, peace out. Yeah, and their parents. What fucking parents? If this isn't more of a projection, that's what it is with these Republicans. Everything's either a confession or a projection. This is a projection. Oh, Daddy will never fire me. But, you know, that's why I could sit around doing coke and making Facebook videos. I thought you were the VP of the incredible Trump organization. It's one of the greatest companies ever created, as you can tell by the bullshit NFTs it's selling.
Drop them from the cell phone plan or drop them from their insurance, and now they got to function in the big personal world for the first time ever. It's actually hilarious how they react to any challenge, any adversity, and it's actually really scary for the future of our country, because I imagine a lot of this aligns up with that next generation.
Yes, be afraid. That next generation is just terrible. They're horrible people because they're not racist. They're not as easily triggered by things like trans people, right? They don't care about trans people. They're more focused on things like live shooter drills and shit, right? They don't want kids to die. You know, this is the generation that grew up with live shooter drills. Why don't you go back out and kill some more beautiful animals? This is what he does for a hobby, too. I mean, they bring nothing to the table. He, in his spare time, what he likes to do to relax is kill animals. He's a fucking filthy waste of human DNA. That's what you do? You know, it's sociopathy, right? I mean, it's like psychopathy. That's what you do? You want to kill. And you know what he did? He's scum. He, of course, you know, because he's daddy's little spawn. When the daddy was squatting in the White House, staining the White House, despite receiving fewer votes, he went to, I don't remember what country, but he got a retroactive permit to kill an endangered animal, and he did it in the middle of the night. And they shine. I think it was a lion or something. He's a piece of shit, this guy. And they shine. I mean, they did everything to just kill the animal. It was no sportsmanship involved. And they shine these floodlights all around the animal to confuse the animal, so it would just stop in the middle and like, what? So bing, bing, bing. Could you imagine? It's like out of a nightmare. And then Junior focuses his laser sight on the animal, you know, very sportsmanlike, and shoots the fucking thing dead. And that's what he does for fun. And then he had to get a retroactive permit to kill this animal. He's such a piece of dirt. There's pictures of him. I mean, they're so vile. They make me sick, these people. They make me effing sick. There's pictures of him. I'm sure you've seen them. I don't even want to look at them. Of him holding there's a beautiful ram, a white ram that he murdered for no fucking reason. And, you know, the ram, I'm sure it wasn't even cold yet. And there he is holding it. And it's so sickening because you can't really tell that it's dead except for the blood. There's like a hole and blood dripping down. And it's right out of the stuff of nightmares, really. It reminds me of a serial killer. What's the deal? Why is it that you have to kill things? You're not eating it. You're just murdering it. You want to see the light go out of their eyes. Why? For fun? That's what you do for fun? You fucking sick, twisted freak. Get a hobby. You want to go hunting? Go take a picture. I don't understand why you have to kill an animal for fun. It's disgusting. And that's the other thing that these pricks did when they were in office, despite receiving fewer votes. There was a ban on importing, I was going to say importation. Oh, yeah, whatever. Is that a word? Importing the carcasses, the corpses of these murdered animals to discourage this kind of shit hobby. Because if you got a shit hobby, you're shit. What kind of hobby is this? You see what I'm saying? They bring nothing to the world. They take beauty out of the world. They take life out of the world. Because it's the whole world is for them. Everyone lives for them. That's why, hey, pay $99 for a fake digital picture of my dad looking like a superhero. How sick is that? After you tried to overthrow the government of the United States. And you're not just try. You didn't try. It's not past tense. It's still happening. Unreal. That's why I don't get it. I don't get how one family, except for Mary Trump, can be so vile. How much vile DNA must you have? You know, I know Trump is all about, I got good genes. No, you don't. Your genes there's something wrong with them. Mary Trump's like Marilyn Munster in comparison to the rest of them. They're all a bunch of monsters.
These kids these days, or these young, aspiring journalists or whatever, they've never functioned in the real world, and they live in some sort of fake utopia. So apparently, employment dies in wokeness, because that's exactly what's happening here. And sort of love to see it happening. I could watch that video over and over again. It's just amazing.
Why don't you go masturbate on a flag? You're such a great American. It's amazing. Look at his face. Everyone is getting fired. I love it. I love when people get fired because I'm such a free speechist. I'm all about free speech, except when that speech tells the truth. This is who they are. There's something, I don't know. I don't understand. This is what I'm saying, guys. I have to say, I don't even know. What am I saying? If you are a Trumpanzee, I look down on you. That's why. There is something wrong with you. It says everything about you to me. It's like, I don't get it. I don't understand. If somebody tells me they voted for Trump, I told you stories about people that I know who voted for Trump. Those who I know voted for Trump, they're not that smart. Okay? I take it personally. There's no excuse for it anymore, though. There was no excuse to begin with, really. As soon as the con man came down the escalator, calling Mexicans rapists, and you're like, yeah, I'll vote for that. You know, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. It's not just, you're a racist, but you're also a fascist, you know? Because anybody who is not a fascist and capable of functioning in a free, diverse, democratic society would see that and recoil from it and say, no, thank you. But it's really true. There's something, this is what annoys me about the corporate media. It's like treating the Trumpanzee like, there's not something wrong with them. They need to be, I mean, that's why we always got to check in on them. What do they think now? We got to, here's our focus group of Trump voters. Who cares? The focus group, should be an intervention. Should be, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Why? Are you that misled? Oh, and look at his face, too. This fake smile of, people are getting fired because, liberals don't like free speech, you see. They don't like free speech. But these liberals are too woke. And they're making a big issue about things that real people don't care about. But we don't, what are those issues? Donald Trump Jr.? This is what I'm saying. There's no specifics. Notice this. I want you to notice this when you watch corporate media, too. They never give you examples of something. They don't say, well, there's, like this whole video. People, they're just too woke. Okay, how? Show us. Where? What's woke? What are you talking about? Everything is a projection, right? Everybody has to, you just fill in the blanks with your, it's a Rorschach test. So all they have to say is woke or they make a big issue out of things that real people don't care about. Like what? Real people don't care about the insurrection? Sorry. Real people don't care that you're a bunch of book banners? Sorry. Real people don't care that you are spreading lies that are getting people killed? Is that it? Sorry. Sorry, your CRT messages, according to polls, didn't really hit a home run during the midterms either. Oh, God. Thank God. That's why I cannot take it. People don't care, you see. Real people don't care. You're not real people. You're barely a people, much less real. God. Real people don't kill animals for fun, right? Real people love animals. They don't travel to distant places or even at home. They don't relax going out and murdering animals for no fucking reason because you can. That's a sick hobby. And I don't care. Oh, I'm a hunter. Where do you live? This ain't the 1600s. You're not a hunter. There's something wrong with you. Hunting. Get a real hobby. How about you go feed the fucking homeless or something? Hunting. I'm a hunter. I love hunting. Because why? I like killing things. Oh, it's fun to kill. Oh, that sounds real great. It sounds like a great time. I saw some documentaries on people who had fun killing. They love to kill, too. One was all about Ted Bundy. One was, Green River Killer. I love killing animals, though. That doesn't count. Really? Why? Are you eating them? Oh, I love venison. Go get the fuck out of here. Where do you live? This is 2020, almost 3. I'm a hunter. No, you're not. I want to feel like a man when I see the light go out of something's eyes. Why? Because I got nothing else. I got nothing else. I'm a person. I'm a human. And, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve or Fluffy. I love the dogs, but I will kill anything else. Kill it all. Kill without mercy. And now without compassion or care too, because it's fun. Death is fun for some reason to some people. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm going way off on a tangent here. But I just can't take it. I cannot take this bullshit of a needless death of creatures that are, fucking should be respected. This is what's wrong with people in general. They think, I'm a human. Well, you know what? You're part of a bigger picture too. Don't you realize that? No, of course not. Because Jesus told us that we should have dominion over the animals. It said, an ancient book of fables said, dominion over the animals. Meaning what? Oh, so you can just, smush them. Smush and kill. Well, guess what? If the animals would be just fine without us, but I don't think we'd be fine without them. That's the truth. That is the truth. I can't take it. There was another thing I wanted to talk about. Everybody sucks. Not everybody. I mean, not you guys. I'm in a bad mood now. But thank you, Diffuse, for your super chat. That makes me in a better mood. I'm in a pissy mood now. Oh, so everybody's tweeting now, too, that Trump is done. That's trending on Twitter right now. Trump is done. Hashtag Trump is done. Well, and they're all today on the corporate media. This is how it happens. The narrative happens. And everybody's like, oh, DeSantis, he's our man. If he can't fuck this world up, no one can. And this is how it is with the Republicans. They all have to find their next new thing. And they have a lot of things. We've seen this before. Remember when Marco Rubio was the real thing, right? He was their new thing. Then there was Bobby Jindal, right? And then there was what's her name? Nikki Haley. She was another one. It's the new hope of the Republican Party. And then they get to. They usually do the response to the State of the Union or something. And yeah, where is the producer? Oh, he's sleeping. Like a good boy. He's sleeping. And so anyway, it's the same thing with DeSantis. He's their latest savior. They need a savior for as much as they project that shit on normal people, like they did with Barack Obama. They're like, oh, remember how they would say how they worship Obama bots. They worship Obama, and that was never the case. And then they play videos of people crying at Obama's inauguration and stuff, but they were crying because, they're seeing someone with darker pigment being sworn in to this racist ass country, and that was progress. So it was very touching, and yeah, even I was moved by it. So, meanwhile, these people would open a vein for the con man and would follow him to an insurrection to the point where they're taking a dump in the Capitol. But, Democrats they're all about celebrities. Yeah. We're about celebrities. They run celebrities, right? They run one of their saints is a one of the reasons we're in this mess. Trickle down Reagan, who was an actor. Yes, bedtime for Bonzo. And they're another, they literally worship a con man because he played a successful businessman on reality television. But yes, we're all bamboozled by celebrity. It's like, get a fucking mirror, Republicans. Get a mirror. I wish somebody would hunt Donald Trump Jr. I mean, legally and peacefully. Will they? I hope that Jack Smith hunts that con man legally and peacefully. Yeah. It's, the flavor of the month, Sage. You're right. That's what it is. So that's DeSantis. And he is, I don't understand the appeal, of course. Like, I don't understand the appeal of the con man, but DeSantis is worse. He's worse. He's unbearable. And thank you, Diffuse. I love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your super chat. Super chat. Yeah, I mean, DeSantis, that hung dog look, that 1,000-mile stare, the vacant dead eyes, that's what they share. What is it with the dead eyes? Well, I mean, what is it? It's that they are dead. They have no souls or something. There's something wrong with them. And, like, for example, where is it? Florida leads the nation in COVID death. Well, we saw that Ron DeSantis, he made an announcement. They're going to investigate COVID, right? Yeah, because it's a big conspiracy. That's the other thing. I just saw another thing on Twitter. They're very obsessed with, they're doing, it just released. We know that it came from China. Who cares? Who fucking cares? Like, where it came from, it's here. So we deal with it. We're dealing with it. Okay, I'm saying, yeah, all right. You do want to do some due diligence on it and figure out where it came from so it doesn't happen again. But that's the priority. And for what? Well, it's all because they want to come up with a plot. Like somebody was plotting somehow against them. And they told us they knew it all along. They saw those memes. They made a lot of memes on 4chan, don't you know? And they shared it. And they knew it. They did their own research from wherever they were. In their, hovels in West Virginia or wherever, Alabama, somewhere. They're in their hovels on the internet machine that was developed by government research and development. And, ironically, but because they lack self-awareness, there they are, Googling how government is bad on the internet machine created by government development. But anyway, whatever. On electricity run to their hovels thanks to government. When corporations would have them sitting in the dark, literally as well as figuratively. It's really almost unbearable. It is unbearable. It's not almost. It is unbearable. But DeSantis, what is the appeal? The appeal is that they think he's a more palatable Trump, but he's also repugnant. I mean, he is equally repugnant, and he will not sell well on a national stage because he won't have the ability to gerrymander. That's the thing. that drives me insane on the corporate media. They talk about how he won by 20 points or something, but he drew the maps. He literally, DeSantis himself, drew the maps of Florida, and the court did nothing because it was too close to the election. So the Florida legislature had to accept Ron DeSantis's maps, which absorbed and nullified many Democratic districts because he's a piece of dirt like the rest of them and cannot win elections. You see, that's the only message that Republicans understand when they unpack their loss. People are like, will they learn a lesson from their loss in the midterms? They will not learn a lesson. The only lesson they'll learn is we need to rig more elections. That's the lesson for them. It won't be, let's do things for the American people that would make them want to vote for us. No, they want to poison the American people. Not only poison them literally with every poison that they could, they don't care if they needlessly die prematurely. They want to poison their minds too. That's why I can't stand them. They poison their bodies, they poison the mind, they poison the society. They need the fissures of disunity. I mean, we've been warned about them. But what is this? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis asked his state Supreme Court to greenlight an investigation of any and all wrongdoing in Florida with respect to COVID-19 vaccines. But again, he's not telling the state of Florida, the Supreme Court, or doing anything that in his demand or whatever, he's not specifying what the wrongdoing is. Because it's all virtue signaling to people who have absolutely no virtue. That's what it is. It's like, I'm on the team. This is why. I don't know where it came from. All of a sudden, Republicans hate vaccines. They used to brag that they were, vaccinating as many more children than we ever vaccinated and things like that. But it's also another way of DeSantis differentiating himself from the other con man. So, because I don't know, they're just not happy unless people are dying. That's why I guess Lauren Boebert is upset that fentanyl's not getting through. She's upset that a record amount of fentanyl is being seized at the border when she wants it to get through. What the fuck is this? We need it to get through because we need Americans dead, prematurely dead. I don't know. It's incredible. So where is it? Because I was just looking for this. Because in Florida, well, we know this, unfortunately. Florida leads the nation in COVID death for the third month. Well, Florida's always leading the nation in death. Let me see. Hold on. It's incredible. But whatever. Keep on killing Republicans. That's what you do. But they are killing their own constituents, which, again, proves me right. I say it all the time. I don't like them, right? You know that. Only because they're unbearable. But I'm not trying to kill them. I'm trying to get them health care. I'm trying to ensure that they have living wages and retirement security. That for like that lady who's saying, I'm working and my money is going to blah, 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 and I can't pay my bills because of liberals' welfare. She's not complaining about the rich getting richer and the Trump tax scam funneling more money into the pockets of the rich so they can buy more Republican and Democratic politicians and corrupt government. So, yeah, she's not complaining about that, but, because she's been twisted by these, oh my God, you see? And Trump I just went on Twitter. That's why I was like, oh my God. Because just like I'm saying, every time I go on Twitter, there's some scum. There's a Trumpanzee at the top of my feed. I don't know who is this Troy Nels. I do not know this fucker. Talk about shadow banning. I'm getting shadow banned, but I'm also getting bombarded with these freaks. Look, Joe Pagliaro. I don't know, who is this person? Rob Reiner. Is Rob Reiner the most ignorant person on Twitter? No, you are. Tables have turned. Elon Musk suspends CNN, New York Times, Washington Post journalists, reminding them that rules apply to them. Really? Well, he just suspended an account, Aaron Rupert, who coincidentally, this is the thing, this is what Musk is upset about, who he, right before he suspended his account, he posted an article critical of Elon Musk. Isn't that coincidental? And so these other journalists, liberals, are being banned because they're doing the same. They're being critical of Musk, and he's banning them because he's a tiny little fragile narcissist like the rest of them. They're snowflakes. And he's really turned Twitter into a cesspool. It does not take long, you see. Republicans, everything they touch, they destroy. Everything decent that they get their hands on, they corrupt because they can't operate any other way. That's who they are. A fish is gonna swim, a bird's gonna fly, and so of course these free speech absolutists like Fox News. Oh, wah. Nazis are banned. Who got banned on Twitter before, and why? That's the other thing. They're like, I'm being banned. I'm canceled. Why? Like Perjury Trader Green. Why was she canceled on Twitter? Because she was spreading filthy lies and insurrectionist. What was the thing? I think she posted something anti-Semitic or something. Marjorie Taylor Greene suspended on Twitter. Let's see. This was back in the days. Twitter permanently suspends Perjury Trader Green's account because she violated its policy on coronavirus misinformation too many times. Well, she kept repeatedly posting lies about that got people killed, and they need more dead. And the other, that's why they're like, I'm being canceled. Oh, okay, why? What did you say? What did you do? What did Aaron Rupert say? He, funny enough, he posted an article about Elon Musk that he wrote, and it was getting a lot of attention. And this is, and the Republicans are just fine with journalists being being, canceled. Oh, turnabout is fair play, as you see. Well, give me an example. Tell me why they're being canceled. Oh, cancel culture. We hate cancel culture, except you don't. You like cancel culture. You're fascists. That's why you're canceling books. That's why you're using violence to cancel democracy. That's why you're canceling drag shows. You're so twisted and demonic that you use violence. You want to stop people from expressing themselves, their free speech, their freedom to be a rugged individual. There's no more rugged individual than a drag queen, okay? In this environment, to come out and be in a drag show, Republicans don't have that courage. So, and that's why they use violence. They want to shut shit down. They don't want you to be a rugged individual. They want you to be one of them, a dupe, a dumbass, a Nazi, a traitor, a moron who buys an NFT from a con man, and then goes to his rallies and buys a shirt and then watches him hump a flag and buys a hat, while the middle class goes lower and lower and lower on the ladder, and they tell you, well, it's because of the woke, or the browns, or the drag queens, or the trans, or trans women in sports, or things that they don't give a shit about. Or kids are too woke and they're living in the real world now. Oh my God. It's unbearable. Oh, and what I was saying about Trump destroying the facade. That's what he did. He destroyed, on the 4th of July, let's see. He said, in 2020, Trump flew to South Dakota and addressed the nation from Mount Rushmore. We will never let them rip America's heroes from our monuments or our hearts, like you have one, by tearing down, whatever, Washington and Jefferson. These radicals will never tear down. You tear down Washington and Jefferson because you are a disgrace. But anyway, so this is an article from Medium. Let's see. It's unclear if he knew that Washington died in 1799 and Jefferson in 1826, decades long before the Civil War began. Of course not. Trump continued, make no mistake, this left-wing cultural revolution is designed to overthrow the American Revolution. To make it possible, they are determined to tear down every statue, symbol, and memory. So, this position would seem to be at odds with Trump of, back in 1980. Why? That's when Trump deliberately destroyed irreplaceable artwork, 2 Art Deco friezes that graced the Bonwit Teller building on Fifth Avenue, and that were promised to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The premeditated destruction of monumental art is one of the acts that compelled Graydon Carter, the then editor of the satirical magazine Spy, to mock the future president as the short-fingered vulgarian. And that's when Trump, because he's a petty little con man, I know the story. He every year would send the author of the article, calling him a short-fingered vulgarian, an outline of his hand. He would trace the outline of his hand on a piece of paper, or supposedly his hand, and he said, see, not too short, are they? Is there something wrong with him? Something very wrong with him. And there's something very wrong with people that want to make that their leader. Okay, so there was public outrage at the time. Architectural sculpture of this quality is rare, and would have made a definite sense. Sense in our collection, said the vice president of the Mets Board of Trustees. Trump, pretending to be his own spokesman, defended the decision. Remember, John Barron, Trump's fictional alter ego, John Barron, lied to reporters when he said that the merit of John Barron, aka Trump, told reporters the merit of those stones was not great. And it was not great enough to justify the efforts to save them, even though they were promised to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And because people who actually know what they're talking about said, this is irreplaceable art, you short-fingered vulgarian. The merit of these two stones. Hawkins disagreed. Can you imagine the museum accepting them if they were not of artistic merit? Architectural sculpture of this quality is rare and would have made a definite sense in our collection. Their monetary value was not what we were interested in. The Department of 20th Century Art was interested in having them because they are of artistic merit. They were. More than 3 decades later, the loss of the building is still lamented. In the New York Times in 2014, Christopher Gray succinctly recalled the loss. The Bonwit Teller store is another lost landmark of a time when the 57th Street area was home of suave and sophisticated shops. Designed in 1929 as the Stewart and Company store, it had an entranceway that was stupendously luxurious. It was a mix of limestone, bronze, platinum, and hammered aluminum. When Trump, he's such a pig. No offense to pigs who are decent, but pigs are decent. They're smart, they're charming, intelligent, and they have value. So, and they give more to humanity than the whole lot of them. The whole Republican Party and every Trump rally. On his orders, the demolition workers cut up the grill work with acetylene torches. Unfucking real. They just destroyed it. Then they jackhammered the friezes, dislodged them with crowbars, and pushed the remains inside the building, where they fell to the floor and shattered into a million pieces. Well, it was like a couple $100 more to actually remove them properly. Trump quite simply chose to destroy monumental art. The ethnocentric slant in the Anglophone accounts misses the larger cultural importance of the friezes. These works loom large in the Hispanic imagination and the affection for New York. Trump's destruction of masterpieces that were cherished, in fact, foreshadowed his riding down the escalator in Trump Tower to announce his candidacy for the presidency by vilifying Hispanics. Well, isn't that true? When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. Trump said this while a Mexican employee wearing a Trump ice cream cap a few feet away manned his station, scooping ice cream. Oh my God, he's such a bore. God help us, right? Oh, all right, everybody's bouncing out. And thank you, Stephanie, for your super chat. Well, we could do this other story tomorrow. Look, it's almost midnight, and I'm exhausted from life, and I need to get unconscious and dream of a world where Donald Trump Jr. isn't commenting about things, and Elon Musk is not here. He's in Mars somewhere. He's at halfway to Mars. Ugh, this vile time. And one day, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. You know, I say it all the time, when we're all gone and anthropologists study this time, they're gonna look at Tarabuster. They will. And they're gonna know that at least we tried. Yeah, you know what's weird? The cat cam. Oh, here it is. For a second, it was gone. I don't think it was connecting or something. Because I know that Junior woke up. See? Look at the way he looks at the camera. Look at him. Oh, you little bastard. Why are you grabbing my hand? Look at him. Come here. Give me your hand. Give me the hand. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging, bro. Can I have your hand? Give me that. Give me the hand. We are living in harmony, side by side. Tara Jr. and Tara Sr. Living in harmony together. Together. I'm trying to think of a song. Ow! You're biting my hand. I don't like it. Give me your hand, and I will give you a treat. Give me your hand. You're very good. Yes, you are, except when you bite me. All right, my friends. Have a good weekend, Errol. You're not here tomorrow? Oh, my God. Well, you know, we will have a show. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, you're knocking over the camera now. Damn it. Holy shit, this is getting out of hand. So, we will have a birthday show, December 27th. Do you see what I got to put up with the biting of the hand? What is it with you in my hands now? And, yes, we will have a show the 23rd. That's a Friday. We're having shows. There will be shows this week and tomorrow. So, anybody who can make it. All right, now he's licking my hand down. He's trying to make it up to me. All right. We will have a show. And we will have as many shows as we can. So if you can, support the show, please hang out. Thank you all for hanging out. Oh, God, I don't know what I'd do without you. I really don't. I got to do more work. I realize that. I have a lot of work to do. I need to make, what do you call it? Somehow to, become a member on here, YouTube. That might help. Maybe people want to become a member here instead of Patreon. Or I have to make YouTube shorts, and I have to do more This is my list in my head. I'm just sharing it, so I make it happen. I have to start doing something for Progressive Voices again. You know, like the commercials. You know, like a tirade or something. That might drive some people back here to our little hangout. Right? Why are you going nuts? He's not like this. This is what's so bizarre. He's not like this all day. He's very, sometimes he's annoying. You know, wants his treats and all. But that's not annoying. But he's not like this. He's not biting my hands or pushing me over and yelling at me like that. It's only when the show's on. I guess maybe it's the talking. He wants me to talk to him. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Stephanie, for your super chat. Left is best. That's the truth. And thank you again, Jim and Ed and Richard W. and Diffuse and Stephanie. Thank you so much for hanging out. Remember, we will win. Oh, and if you can, support our sponsors and contributors and APS Radio News in particular. That would be nice. Share it with your friends. All right. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you so much. I know it's late. Been talking for many hours straight. My name is Tara Devlin. Yeah, this is Tara Jr. And we will see you tomorrow night.